Imagine this. It's early morning, the sun is barely up, and you shuffle into the kitchen half awake. You don't bother with breakfast. Instead, you reach for your trusty coffee mug, pour that steaming dark liquid, and take a big sip. You think, "This is how I start my day. This is what keeps me going." But here's the uncomfortable truth. Drinking coffee on an empty stomach might be silently sabotaging your health in ways you've never considered. I know that sounds shocking. Most of us grew up believing that coffee is the magic switch that wakes us up, that it's harmless or even beneficial. But let me ask you this. Have you ever felt jittery, anxious, or even unusually irritable after that morning cup, especially if you hadn't eaten anything yet? Have you ever wondered why sometimes your stomach feels tight, uneasy, or even burns after coffee, even though you tell yourself it's normal? Today I want to share with you 3 powerful reasons why drinking coffee on an empty stomach might not be the innocent morning ritual you think it is. And trust me, once you understand these reasons, you'll start to see your coffee routine in a whole new light. The first thing we need to talk about is your stomach itself. Picture this. Your stomach is a delicate organ, lined with protective tissue, and it's filled with acid to break down food. Now, coffee, whether it's black, with cream, or even decaf, is naturally acidic. When you drink it on an empty stomach, there's no food there to buffer that acid. The result? Your stomach is suddenly flooded with acid at a time when it has nothing to work on but itself. It's like pouring lemon juice on an open cut. No wonder so many people feel that burning sensation, the reflux, the discomfort. And here's where it gets deeper. For those of us over 50, our digestive systems are already more sensitive. We might have a history of gastritis, reflux, or just that occasional upset stomach that we've brushed off for years. But the more often we trigger that acid imbalance, the more we risk long-term irritation. Some studies even suggest that this habit can contribute to ulcers and chronic indigestion. Think about it. You wake up, your body is fasting, your digestive tract is resting, and instead of easing it into the day, you throw a chemical challenge at it. That's not kindness to your body, it's stress. And you might not notice the consequences right away, but over time they build up. The second reason is more subtle, and it goes beyond the stomach. It's about your hormones, especially cortisol. Cortisol is often called the stress hormone, but it's not always bad. In fact, it's essential. In the morning, your body naturally produces a spike of cortisol to wake you up, to get you alert, to prepare you for the day. Now imagine what happens when you add caffeine on top of that natural spike without food to moderate the effect. It's like pouring gasoline on a fire. Your cortisol goes higher than it needs to, and your adrenaline gets involved too. You feel a surge of energy, that familiar coffee kick. But what goes up must come down. After a while, you might notice a crash fatigue, mood swings, even shakiness. And for people over 50, this roller coaster is more dangerous. Why? Because our blood sugar stability isn't what it used to be. Our adrenal glands aren't as forgiving. The body's ability to keep balance gets weaker with age. So when you drink coffee on an empty stomach, you're not just playing with stomach acid. You're playing with your entire hormonal orchestra. Over time, this can contribute to anxiety, poor sleep, and even weight gain. Yes, weight gain. Because when cortisol is chronically overstimulated, your body tends to store more fat, especially around the belly. Isn't it ironic? The very cup of coffee you think helps you slim down or stay active may actually be encouraging your body to cling to fat. Now, let's talk about the third reason, perhaps the most personal one. Drinking coffee on an empty stomach can set up your entire day for failure in terms of energy and mood. Think about the mornings when you've had just coffee. What happens a couple of hours later? For many people, the answer is simple. Hunger hits hard, sometimes with cravings for sugar or carbs. Your body, having been spiked and crashed by caffeine without fuel, demands a quick fix. You reach for a muffin, a donut, maybe even just another coffee, and that cycle repeats. Before you know it, your day is dictated not by steady energy, but by highs and lows, cravings and crashes. For those of us in our 50s, 60s, or beyond, that's not just inconvenient, it's dangerous. Blood sugar spikes and crashes increase the risk of diabetes, worsen heart health, and rob us of the stable energy we need to truly enjoy life. I can tell you from personal experience, When I switched from coffee first mornings to a small, balanced breakfast before my cup, everything changed. My mood stabilized. My stomach stopped hurting. My energy no longer collapsed by mid-morning. It was such a simple shift, but the difference was night and day. Now, you might be thinking, but coffee has so many benefits. Doesn't it help with memory, focus, even longevity? And you're right, coffee is not the enemy. Studies show that moderate coffee consumption can lower the risk of certain diseases, improve alertness, and even support brain health. But here's the key. It's not about the coffee itself. It's about the timing and the context. Drinking coffee with or after food allows your body to absorb it in a balanced way. Your stomach has protection, your blood sugar has support, and your hormones aren't thrown off the rails. So the real takeaway isn't quit coffee forever. It's quit drinking it on an empty stomach. That one adjustment could make all the difference for your digestion, your energy, and even your waistline. And if you're wondering what you should do instead, here's my simple suggestion. Start small. Even if you don't feel hungry in the morning, try something gentle before your coffee. A handful of nuts, a slice of whole grain toast with peanut butter, or even a piece of fruit with some protein. Give your body a cushion. Think of it as laying a foundation before you build. Coffee then becomes the partner, not the enemy. And you might notice that it tastes better too, less harsh, more enjoyable. I know habits are hard to change, especially one as deeply rooted as coffee. But ask yourself this: do you want your morning ritual to harm you or to help you? Do you want your coffee to be a weapon against your stomach, your hormones, and your energy? Or do you want it to be the friend it's supposed to be? What if you've ever felt that morning burn, that nervous crash, or that uncontrollable craving? I invite you to test this for yourself. For just 1 week, eat something small before your coffee. Pay attention to how you feel. Notice your mood, your digestion, your energy, and if you see a difference, share it. Leave a comment below. Tell me your story, because others might need that encouragement too. And if you find this kind of health insight useful, don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you'll never miss the tips that could transform your daily life. Now here's the twist. You might think the problem is coffee itself, but it's not. The real problem is how we use it. For decades, coffee has been marketed as a quick fix, an instant energy source, a substitute for breakfast. But your body was never designed to run on caffeine alone. It was designed to run on real food, balanced hormones, and sustainable energy. Coffee can play a beautiful role in that picture, but only if we respect its power. That's the secret. Most people never realize it's not about giving up what you love. It's about learning to use it wisely. And when you do, not only will your mornings feel better, but your whole day, and maybe even your whole life, can feel more balanced, energized, and joyful. So the next time you stand in your kitchen, staring at that coffee pot, ask yourself, am I drinking this to support my body, or am I drinking it at the expense of my body? The answer might change everything. And here's my challenge to you. Tomorrow morning, don't skip the small bite of food before your coffee. Treat it as a gift to yourself, a gesture of self-care. You deserve a body that feels good, a mind that stays sharp, and a day that flows with energy, not one that's ruled by crashes and cravings. Trust me, once you make this change, you'll wonder how you ever did it any other way.